I'm a very powerful woman.
You don't look so powerful right now, do you?
Those who have it don't always look like they do.
Tuesdays.
Candace, give him his money.
Who really holds the power now?
This arrogance that you show is going to catch up with you one day.
Well, I hope I'm looking fabulous when it does.
This is the night. What happens to Jim? Get ready for the tables to turn.
I hope to God you ain't running no game on me.
All right, have and have not fans. That was the trailer for next week's episode, Jimmy Crack Corn. Going to be honest, a bit underwhelmed by the trailer. I think that if you've watched my episode review, which thank you all so much, the review is currently over 7,000 hits, and that is amazing. So hopefully this trailer breakdown for next week does numbers as well. But I think what really got me, and I did see this in the comments on the episode review, people agree with me. It felt like, and I did enjoy the episode, like the Jeffrey Owen portions. Veronica was excellent, her and Quita's dynamic, and there were a couple other bits that I loved as well. But I think my problem with the episode, which will be, continued forward in this episode, is that there was a lot of regression, because we are getting characters who are acting out of character. They're not being consistent. Storylines that I wish to God would end. The whole money thing. You all know I'm over that. And I feel like a broken record. But I mean, hell, if the show can sound like a broken record, why can't I? But let's just get into the review of the breakdown. Then I'll talk about my feelings as I go along. So if you're new to the channel, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, links to all my social media are in the description box below. Above anything else, make sure you hit follow on Twitter. That way you can live tweet with me on Tuesday night during the live episodes. But in any case, we get the trailer. And also, this trailer breakdown is going to be a mashup of both the trailer you just saw, which is the one that airs during commercial breaks, but also what was said during the end credits of the episode, just so you know. We have Catherine and Wyatt in jail across from each other. Wyatt still digging the knife in even deeper about Jim's death. And I think he even said something along the lines of, I hope I know where he is buried at so I can go piss on his grave. And I'm thinking to myself, Wyatt, how are you getting out of jail? Like, I'm not an expert in this field in regards to, like, jail and prison, how it works, but I think I saw an article sometime last year about, some prisons and whatnot allowing inmates to go home for holidays or something like that. But I don't know if someone is allowed to go to a funeral and then be brought back. I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong. Well, I can't really say I'm wrong. I literally said I don't know. But if that's something that can be done, or does Wyatt assume he's getting out somehow? I don't really know. But I don't think Jim is dead. Hell, even in the trailer, the big question is, what happens to Jim? He's alive. I don't know how else to say it. But then we have Celine and Dave at the hospital again in the waiting room. Celine's, pretty like, I'm going to go see him. So I'm guessing she's referring to Jim, of course. And then David says something along the lines of, if you go to see Jim, you could also lose your job as well. What? I mean, I know they're technically not family, but at the end of the day, he is the father of her two sons. And that's not unknown, because this was revealed on national television when he was going to run for governor. What's her name? Diane Winchell. She had her own talk show that was on all the major news networks. So when Celine, Carlos, and the youngest son were all on television, everybody saw. Kind of like, it's almost like Celine was exposed to the public, even though she was trying to expose Jim, but it was really Carlos. She was pretty much made aware to the general public, just as Candace's criminal activities were as well. So I think, to be honest, wouldn't Celine have more of a right to go see Jim than David from a legal standpoint? I mean, true, David's a judge, but honestly, this show has done so many random things that don't make sense in the conventional way of how hospital law works. I don't even know. So I'm just going to move forward. Going back to a character and storyline I wish would just disappear, Justin and David. What is it? they're at the hospital, and then he's like, your family is so full of threats. You can't hurt me. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? Have you looked in the mirror lately? Seen how you banged up your face is? You dragged your pitiful body back to the hospital because you felt that something's wrong. Well, yeah, Madison told you, dumbass, that you had a bunch of internal injuries. So you're I'm sorry for the language, but you know, so basically you're saying the Harrington family is full of shit, let alone the fact that you were scared like a baby when Veronica was around. So this is why I said the video a while back about not feeling sorry for Justin, because it's like, you're acting all pitiful and helpless now, but if you were out of that bed in better condition, you would still be an asshole like you used to be. And as we saw in the last episode and the preview for next week, he ain't changed. Just go away. Speaking of another storyline, the money thing, Hannah's telling Candace to give the money back. Candace kind of shaking her head, and we kind of jump scenes. And also, if you watch the end credits of the episode this week, Mitch is telling Hannah that these people, no, even if you give them the money, they'll probably still kill Benny anyway. That is actually a rational way of thinking, given the fact that, you know, Mitch comes from that kind of family, so he would know. I can see both sides of this. I honestly can. I will say this. It's just the fact that the way the trailer's edited, as well as the words like, and then Hannah said this line that just made me think, oh, here we go again. What she said? I hope to God that you're not playing some kind of game on me. And I'm like, why? The only time this was somewhat acceptable was in the first episode of the season, when Benny was a bit suspicious that, wait, did you have something to do with the Cryer shooting? Because honestly, from Benny's perspective, that isn't something that we should just jump on him for. Because remember, he put together that Candace had sent somebody to rough up Hannah for some money. Hence why what was it? And damn, it's been so long, I done forgot how much money he borrowed. Wasn't it $40,000 from the Malones that he borrowed? But then it had Malik's blood on it, and he found it in Candace's hotel room, and she lied to him about it. So yeah, you could see why Benny would think that Candace has something to do with the shooting. So there's that. But the fact that I hope you're not running a game on me, I'm like, can we please get over this story crap? Because here's my thing. Let's take out what I said about Mitch being right, having a point about giving the money back, but then it not mattering because of the fact that they could kill Benny, which is rational. If Candace says that she loves her brother, why not get the damn money back already? Not to mention the fact that these dudes are working for Jim Cryer. Why would they? And plus, that's another, okay, this is why I can never be in a hostage situation, because I think too much. It's like, part of me knows you don't really want to let them know you know too much. But at the same time, it's like, if someone abducted me for someone else because of money or whatever the situation is, why would they purposefully tell me their name? Because it's like, if they intend to let me go, wouldn't they be fearful that I would go snitch or something like that? Because it's like, hey, Akil, took me, had me tied up to a chair and had a gun, and said that I wouldn't be able to go free until the money was returned. So yeah, that is kind of something that is interesting. I don't know if that's just stupidity or bad writing. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, if Candace really did love her brother, because remember, she said she wasn't skipping town because Jim would come after Benny. Yet she said she was going to get the money back to do the right thing. So let's say in a magical land, whatever you want to call it, if giving the money back truly meant that Benny was going to be let free, why doesn't she just do it? Not to mention if Jim is still unconscious, but the trailer of the show says that Candace confronts Jim over Benny's abduction. So does that mean Candace goes to the hospital to see Jim? I mean, that's the episode synopsis, but I don't know. But in any case, I do not care. I just do the Justin storyline, the Benny, the money storyline, I could do without them. But if you watch my my video about the February episode title and synopsis, and if you don't want spoilers, just so you know, well, then again, next episode is February. Throughout the entire month of February, every episode has to do with his damn money. Candace going to confront Jim. Mitch pleading with the Malones to help Benny. Yeah, Benny's going to be helped out by the Malones, which leads to, oh shit, is this going to mean that he's going to owe them a lot of favors now, or what's going on? And what the hell could Mitch say to convince the family to, you know, save a black guy of all things? Does this have something to do with Candace? I don't know. And then the final episode of the month has to do with Veronica getting revenge on Jim, which we can assume has to do with the whole Celine child support bull crap. I do not care about this storyline. Okay, so let me just look over the notes here. I think that I covered everything aside from Conley, aka Jeffrey Owens, and Charles, and he talks about whether or not Charles knew if Candace was trying to con him and if she's possibly better at conning than he is. But once again, that goes back to a video I will record directly after this about Conley and Charles, so be on the lookout for that. Because strangely enough, who the hell worked for Charles that covered up his past? Because even Conley, who said that he's known Charles ever since he was his aide, and I could have sworn I heard age, not aide, but then again, yeah, aide makes more sense, because it would have made sense if, Charles, I've known you since I was your age. Then that would make sense, because it's like, hey, Charles, when I was your age, that's when I first met you when you were younger, as opposed to you being the age in the present that I was when I knew you in the past. But that's neither here nor there. And his last name is either W-H-I-S, Wist, or West. Charles said it with, you know, flair, because I didn't know he had an accent in real life. I watched the episode with subtitles, and it got Charles Wist. It could be West. I don't know. But Conley. I had the first name right. Conley Wist, or West. I don't know. But Charles is kind of like, what? I mean, in the back of his mind, is like, nah, because Charles actually was the one that was holding all the cards of the deck when they were together. So unbeknownst to Conley, Charles is pretty sneaky himself, because he kept telling Candace multiple times, if you ever look up what I've done in the past, what you've done is nothing in comparison. So I don't know. But overall, let me just take a quick, I did skip one part. George telling Veronica about her arrogance and how it's going to catch up to her someday. And she's like, I hope I'm looking fabulous when it does. Like I said before, Angela has a blast with this role. But overall, that is everything for next week. Trailer, pretty underwhelming. I'm not really that excited, but hey, I got bills to pay. But let me know your thoughts on Jimmy Crack Corn, and he don't care, because he's probably still unconscious. So yeah, but make sure you subscribe, as I said before. eBay stuff, remember, free shipping on everything. There's a link to my eBay store in the description. The auction ends Saturday afternoon. I have technically 199 items, because one of the items sold already. Somebody made an offer I couldn't refuse. Trading cards, video games, action figures. As I said a few videos ago, saving up money to get a new set of tires for my car, as well as a piece for my car locks, because adulting sucks. But hey, gotta, get this money somehow. So make sure you check me out there. Put in an auction if you see anything you like, or if you just want to throw a couple bucks my way, there's a link to my PayPal in the description as well. And Patreon will be dropping later this week. I'm going to do like either one big video or two videos, my Silver Play Button Award unboxing video, as well as my Patreon video, to let people know, yes, I have content all ready to go. I just haven't really launched it yet, because I need to think of a name. I want to say the Haves and the Have-Nots review, but from a marketing standpoint, it's good to have similar names. But then again, on the podcast, Patreon, whatever, I'm going to be talking about non-have and have-not stuff as well. So I don't know. And then, not to mention, it would be nice to come up with a name for the patrons, like, I don't know. That's the thing that has me hung up. But this will be the first video I post today, because I have 3 more have and have not videos to record. But then I recorded 10 videos yesterday. 8 of them were Oval related. 1 was Ambitions and 1 was Sisters. So be on the lookout for like a trail mix bag of videos coming to the channel soon. So once again, guys, take care. Be safe, because it was snowing here this morning, like a few snowflakes, then it stopped. And I hope everyone has a strong finish to the week, because tomorrow is Friday, but also the last day of the month. So if January was kind of lousy, let's hope things pick up for all of us next month in February.